Most souls are inevitably drawn to heaven, hell, or somewhere in between. But not all are so easily judged. Some rejected belief in anything at all, while others were both hero and villain. These are the souls death personally visits. Death listens to their stories and then decides their final fate. Will they find peace, punishment, or something else entirely? That is what you are here to decide. Tonight's story is one full of obligations, pride, and self-doubt. It is centered around Cassandra Hale, a lawyer who defended evil men and women. Although she never broke the law herself, she committed many unethical acts while protecting her clients. Listen closely and decide her fate.
So, it's my time to be judged. I always knew this day would come, though I imagined I'd have more time to figure out what to say. Strange, isn't it? A lawyer at a loss for words, unsure of how to plead her own case. I was born with nothing. My parents worked themselves to the bone to keep food on the table, but they never let me forget that education was my way out. I believed them. I studied harder than anyone, graduated with honors, and earned a scholarship to law school. I didn't just want to succeed. I needed to. And I did. I clawed my way up from the bottom to become one of the most successful lawyers in the city. My face adorned billboards, my name was whispered in courtrooms, and my victories made headlines. People called me a hero, and sometimes I was. I fought for women who had been beaten down by those who claimed to love them, for children abandoned by the very people who should have protected them, for individuals crushed under the weight of systems designed to keep them powerless. When I won those cases, I felt like I was changing the world, one verdict at a time. But those victories didn't pay the bills. The cases that did, they were different. Do you know what it's like to sit beside a man you know is guilty? To listen as he describes his crimes without a hint of remorse. I defended mobsters who profited from trafficking human lives, CEOs who poisoned entire towns, and predators who shattered families. If the evidence was weak, I tore it apart. If a jury needed a sob story, I spun it. My job wasn't to decide guilt or innocence. My job was to win. And I did. Again and again. Without ever breaking the law myself, though I danced along its edges more times than I'd like to admit. Do I feel guilty? Of course. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. There are faces I can't forget. The mother who begged me not to defend her child's killer. The whistleblower who lost everything because I ensured their corrupt boss walked free. I told myself it wasn't my fault, that I was just doing my job, that someone else would take the case if I didn't. But deep down, I knew better. I hated them, but I represented them. Not because I believed they deserved it, but because the law isn't about morality. It's about justice, even when justice feels wrong. And I admit, the money didn't hurt. With that money, I gave back. I supported my family, who sacrificed so much for me. I donated to charities, funded scholarships, and built shelters for those in desperate need of a second chance. I even founded a legal clinic to help people who couldn't afford a lawyer. Some called it atonement for my sins. Maybe they were right. Maybe I was just trying to drown out the guilt. But not all of it was altruistic. I liked being called a philanthropist, a role model. I liked the way it felt when people praised me. The truth is, I enjoyed the spotlight. I never married. I never had children. My career was my life, and the headlines were my companions. So now I stand here wondering, was it enough? Did the good I tried to do outweigh the harm I caused? Or did my successes only serve to mask my failures? All I can tell you is this: I did my job. I played my part in a system that isn't perfect. I upheld the law, even when it broke my heart.
So what is your judgment? Should Cassandra Hale be rewarded for the lives she helped improve in her charitable works? Or should she be condemned for defending the indefensible and prioritizing success over morality? Was her lifetime of contradictions penance enough to earn her a place in purgatory before her final fate? What is your verdict?